The Philippine justice sector is ramping up efforts to address the long-standing crisis of overcrowded prisons as the second National Decongestion Summit officially opens. Top officials are treating the systemic failure as a justice emergency, pushing for swift reforms. Gab Villegas has more on the justice sector's collective stand and their strategic roadmap to solve this nationwide prison crisis.
The Justice Sector Coordinating Council, comprising the Supreme Court, Department of Justice, and the Department of Interior and Local Government, has opened the second National Decongestion Summit. The summit aims to strengthen steps to decongest the extremely crowded prisons in the country. Members of the JSCC also signed a declaration in continuance of their commitment to decongest the nation's jail facilities. For DILG Undersecretary Rolando Puno, prison congestion is not just a correctional issue. It is also a legal, governmental, and moral issue that requires immediate action. According to Puno, 7 of every 10 prisons in the country are still overcrowded. Some of the steps taken by the DILG to decongest prisons include, among others, the strengthening of the barangay justice system. Through the Katarungan Pambarangay, up to 500,000 cases of neighborhood disputes will not end with someone behind bars. The Bureau of Jail Management and Penology also reduced the national congestion rate by 10% in 4 months. Up to 69,000 persons deprived of liberty were released through paralegal support and intervention.
This isn't discomfort, it's systematic failure. Treat jail decongestion not as an administrative headache, but a justice emergency. Release the deserving and clear the dockets. Let us fix the system.
The Department of Justice also implemented some reforms, such as slashing bail amounts by half, which helped in the release of 42,000 PDLs. According to Acting Justice Secretary Frederick Vida, an important factor in decongesting prisons is the granting of executive clemency to elderly and terminally ill detainees or convicts. Since 2022, the Board of Pardons and Parole has been able to grant parole to 300 early and terminally ill PDLs. However, agencies should not be complacent yet.
We shall adopt further measures rooted in compassion and reason. Among others, we will continue to advocate for introduction and institutionalization of a policy on compassionate early release for qualified persons deprived of liberty, particularly the elderly, the seriously ill, and those who no longer pose a risk to society. Decongestion remains to be a continuing and collective responsibility.
For Supreme Court Chief Justice Alexander Gesmundo, more work needs to be completed to decongest the country's prisons.
Overcrowded jails strain government resources, endanger the health and mortality of PDLs, and undermine rehabilitation efforts.
Bureau of Corrections Director General Gregorio Catapang Jr. also shared that among the discussions at the summit was the plan to merge Bucor and BJMP under the Unified Penology and Correctional System in accordance with the Nelson Mandela rules. Catapang added a study on the matter is ongoing. From 2022, about 30,000 PDLs were released through the Good Conduct Time Allowance incentive for PDLs.
Napapabilis na yung release nila, no? Nagtataka nga sila na hindi nila alam na hindi akala na ganun kabilis ang pag-release nila. So nagkakaroon tayo rin ng peaceful atmosphere sa mga kulungan natin kasi hindi sila alam nila na in due time they will release.
Bucor also hopes that the jail facilities in the country will be decongested before the end of President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.'s term. Gab Villegas from the National TV Network for New and Better Philippines.